Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I am Keg, known for the Newcastle United fan channel on YouTube, the Magpie Channel TV. I'm here today to bring to you day 27 of Touchdown Houses Countdown to First Down series, where we'll be covering the Carolina Panthers. I'm joined here by Antonio, co-founder and producer of Panther Nation International on Facebook. Hello, Antonio. How we doing, mate?
Fantastic, mate. Good to see you. Good to find someone else to talk about
It is, isn't it?
Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into it. So yeah, we're going to be covering the build-up, our expectations, basically a big preview of the 2022 season based on the Carolina Panthers. So, Antonio, we're just going to start with the additions. We're going to have a look at the roster, the ins for the team in all draft, free agency, and in the coaching staff. So first, we'll start with the draft. How did you think that went?
The draft is always a funny one for Carolina because you never know quite what they're going to pull off. And even then when they do, you just never know what the outcome of it's going to be.
Yeah.
I remember doing the draft when we chose Christian McCaffrey, and I was like totally on board. Great. Now looking at what we've selected and what we've got, I think we've pretty much stacked the deck pretty well here.
Yeah.
We've got Ikem Ekwonu, offensive tackle, great addition, great power, great strength. And the thing that I like, and I think that we haven't done for a long time, is go young and bring in what I hope is going to be a generational talent that will slowly develop under tutelage into something fantastic. And of course, I'm talking about Mr. Magic, Matt Corral. Hopefully, he comes into Carolina. He gets to sit behind. Well, he's going to be sitting behind. Well, our quarterback situation has been an interesting situation to read about in the press over the last couple of weeks, the last couple of months, and it just keeps getting more interesting and more interesting. You got Sam Darnold doing the rounds. You got Baker Mayfield doing the round. And now you've got this young, fresh talent who I hope can have the time to sit, learn, and take the amazing performance he's provided in college and bring it up to our beloved Carolina.
Yeah, I've heard some good things about him in preseason. Some of the videos that I've seen so far in training camp, he's looked pretty good, hasn't he? I've seen some of them videos. Like, that was one that came out today, threw a good pass into the corner. I'm liking the look of him, but yeah, like he's probably in a good situation, as Ian Rappaport reported this morning, saying it looks like Sam Baker Mayfield's probably going to win the job. Sam Darnold's not going to get traded because we're paying too much money for him, and no one would take him. So for Matt Corral, the future could be good because he's going to sit as backup, probably even third string for 1 year, maybe 2. So just break him in easy. And I think he's probably in a good position. He probably wants to play, of course. He's probably not happy sitting second or third string, but it's probably good for his overall development.
Yeah, but bring him in, give him occasional reps here or there. Let him slowly learn the playbook, get into the system, because that step up from college to professional, it's a mountain.
It's a step, yeah.
And if you look at the other teams that we've got in the NFC South, they're not so many easy games there anymore. We've got a really hard schedule coming up. Throw them in too early, and you've got the problem there. You've got the problems to deal with as a result.
Yeah.
Who do you like from the draft? Who's your?
Well, yeah, we're going to get into that. Just have a little look at the draft class here. Obviously, Ikem Ekwonu I thought was a fantastic pick. We needed either offensive tackle or quarterback the last 2 years. We didn't get either last year. I just don't think the quarterback class was quite there this year. So between Ikem Ekwonu, Evan Neal, or even Charles Cross, I'd have been over the moon with any one of them. But the North Carolina guy, Charlotte born and bred, Ikem Ekwonu, I don't think that could have been a better pick if we had the first pick. I think that would have been absolutely sensational. Matt Corral, 3rd round, I'm very, very happy with. And, it is looking at the guys on the screen there. I'm quite happy with all of them. I think we've done very, very good business. I think Brandon Smith's very good. a little bit raw. I think he might need to take a little while to get into it, similarly to what Shaq Thompson did, but he's getting there now. Took him a little while to break in from Alabama. Amari Barno and Kalen Barnes, we've got incredible speed there. Amari Barno from the 6th round from Virginia Tech. I think he was the fastest defensive end in this year's draft.
Yeah,
Kalen Barnes.
Look at him now. He ran the 40 in 4.36 seconds at the combine. Yeah. And for a 6-footer, 246-pound player, it was the fastest time for a defensive player since 2003.
Yeah, it's a long, long time. So, yeah, I think defensive end was one of the ones that we really, really needed. I think in the build-up to the draft, a lot of people, like I say, we needed tackle and quarterback. And if it wasn't any one of them, then nobody really wanted to know. But if, say, like a Kayvon Thibodeau was there, for example, a lot of people were like, you know what it is? We lost Hassan Reddick. We need edge rushers. Like on the other side of Brian Burns, who've we got? Nobody really. Yeah. So getting him in a little bit unknown, like down in the 6th round, it's a very low risk pick. Again, might take a little bit of development, but with the speed and power that he's got, he could be one of the steals of the draft if he gets kind of running.
Yeah, and it's, like you said, I'm trying to think how many times over the last years we've heard of the pass rushing, the sacks. It just hasn't really appeared that much. Whereas you look in your other teams and like they're getting sacks, they're getting pressure constantly. And Carolina, when we've been playing, you've just been seeing the quarterback the opposition quarterback having fun in the pocket, having time, able to look downfield, make choices. It's gonna be an interesting year. I think it's gonna be an interesting season.
It is definitely in Kalen Barnes on the end. Very, very fast cornerback. He's very raw. Quite a lot of cornerbacks on the depth chart at the minute. So hopefully he'll make the final roster with the speed that he's got. I think he's got a lot to offer, but is the talent quite there? He was a 7th round pick, very near the end of the draft. So very, very low risk. We'll see how that develops. But we'll have a look at the other additions. Obviously, I think the main one will come on to him a little bit later, but obviously everybody wants to hear
who could you be talking about?
Everybody wants to talk about some quarterback from Cleveland, but we'll speak about him shortly. But I think other good additions, we've got Matt Ioannidis. I think he was a very good pick. We've boosted linebackers in Damian Wilson, Corey Littleton. We've brought in Bradley Boseman and Austin Corbett off of a Super Bowl winning year, so we've really boosted up that O-line along with Ike Mekwanu and Cade Mays. Xavier Woods, I think we're in desperate need of a good safety. I think Xavier Woods has been brilliant pickup. And we've done quite well improving special teams as well with Johnny Hecker, the best punter in the league, in my opinion. And it was the other guy, the punt returner anyway. I think people will forget his name, as I have. But he's been in the league for quite a while, and he's been one of the most consistent.
Roberts.
Andre Roberts, yeah. Andre Roberts.
Yeah, which is it's funny because for the majority of my time in fantasy football, I've had the same team name, which is you're gonna gain or lose. So I've always loved the special teams, and I think after Gaynor went, I think we've had a bit of a lull in the power that can provide us.
So out of them, any that really, really excite you? Any really good pickups?
Well, I've been looking at the coaching team. I'm going to go from someone who used to be Carolina. He went away for a bit of time. He's come back, and that is Mr. Steve Wilks.
Yes, very good pickup. Yeah,
it's something that's some of the coaching decisions that we have made during game time over the last couple of seasons have mystified me and have resulted in us earning that nickname of the Cardiac Cats, because we're just not knowing what's going on. When you bring someone like Wilks in, who he's not been quiet while he's been away, he's had some good seasons. You bring him into a team that everybody knows. I'm thinking that we've got a chance in the mixer. You've got Paul Pasqualoni as well. Chris Tabor, special teams coordinator. Again, you're bringing in something. I hope it's going to re-energize the team, and we're going to just absolutely. I'm going to put my hat on it. We're going to win. we're gonna decimate.
Which area? Special teams? Or?
I'm going to say special teams, but I'm hoping it's going to the goodwill is going to spread out to all of the positions, and we're going to have a run. I'm not saying we're going to go 15-1, but I think we're going to have a number of wins in the win column.
Yeah, we'll come into having a little bit of a final league prediction. We'll go through the schedule at the end, but we will get on to the guy that everyone wants to hear we talk about, and that is that quarterback from Cleveland. Baker Mayfield is now a Carolina Panther. Did you see that one coming?
It's a hot. I knew everyone knew we needed to do something, but could we predict it was going to be Baker? I'd heard so many rumors on so many groups of who we wanted, who would be a good fit. But in the end, when you look at it and you look at down to numbers and recent knowledge of the game in the NFL, I don't think we've done bad out of it.
Yeah, it's been pretty good.
He didn't have a greatest of times in his previous team, but that was a different arrangement, and it was a different opposition. He's coming into a really hot division now, because you've got
very competitive.
Bucks. Yeah, Bucks are just. I feel terrible saying their name, but it's the NFC South is not the same that it was 5 years ago.
It's not. No, like, where do you think the competition is now? Because it has been for many years a very competitive league. Some have been division. Sorry, some have been very up. Some have been very down over the last couple of years. Obviously, post Brady, the Buccaneers are just absolutely dominant. But no Drew Brees anymore. Jameis Winston, the quarterback at the Saints. No real solution with the Falcons, with Mariota and Desmond Ridder. That's going to be a bit of a battle. But what do you see for us in the NFC South this year?
Hand on heart, I want to see us putting up numbers and winning games, not just by the meager margins, like a touchdown here or a touchdown there, or like a field goal to win it in the last few seconds. But again, like you said, it's a strong. You've got to factor in the Brady, Brady, and that
and everybody else.
Yeah, it's just not as easy as it was before. The Falcons, they were always seen as a gimme game. If we can stay healthy, if we can stay focused, then I see us putting up some good numbers.
Next, we're going to touch on the last season, the issues. We can go into the year before. We've had 2 5-win seasons in a row. What were the big issues? Why did we only win 5 games?
Injury. Well, we touched on it. Injury, and injury. We just didn't seem to have. Yeah. Yeah. What do you think was a stronger effect on it? Injury or quarterback situation?
Well, the quarterback got injured as well, so probably injuries.
It's just. I can remember getting the injury updates on Twitter, and you're just seeing like boom 1, boom 2, boom 3, just constant, and you're wondering
week after week. It's like,
what have we got left? Who is left on the bench? Are we going to see Sir Pervalot coming on as a new as a starting quarterback against the Bucks? But I think that was tweeted out at one point. We just had so many just constant things happening, and no one could predict where we were going, what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Now, I hope. Well, the quarterback situation hasn't been resolved, but it's a lot better.
Yeah. We have more competition.
We have faces, we have names, we have, in most cases, experience with them to see what can be done. The injury ghost is just going to always be there. I do think Carolina has had a long history of pushing people back onto the field maybe a little bit too quickly.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And not having the diversity in positions like running back kind of put McCaffrey into that kind of situation where he was getting lots and lots of reps, which on a fantasy point of view, fantastic.
Yeah.
But then injuries just around the bend, and that's it. He's gone.
Coming up into this season, 2022, we've gone through some of the additions, both in free agency and the draft. Do you think them problems have been resolved? Any of them weaknesses turned into strengths, or vice versa?
I'm gonna invoke the Lord's name. God, I hope so. I really
Particularly
hope
the
so.
quarterback position, obviously, like we say,
Yeah.
Sam Darnold didn't quite work out. Cam didn't really work out in his return, but now we've got Baker in competition and the young potential guy in Matt Corral just to beef up that room and just provide extra competition. And it's a dog eat dog world, and we need them dogs to fight.
Yeah, but like you said, in that position, we've got 3 active quarterbacks now. So if there is, God forbid, injury on the horizon, we've got something there.
Mm-hmm.
That was always our problem last season and the season before. We just didn't have the answer for what happens when this occurs. Now, God forbidding, I hope it doesn't happen. I hope we don't have to worry about it. It doesn't happen, but we live in a realistic world. So,
if you could pinpoint going into 2022 what our one main strength and what our one main weakness would be, what would you say?
well, our fans, of course, because we've got the best fans of any team ever.
I can write that.
Yeah. Our strengths, I think we've gone through the meat grinder. I think we're in a position now where we're not going to just be looking at what the positives are going to be. We're going to take on board and we're going to learn from our lessons, and we're going to overcome them and use that material to stoke the fire and get this engine running hot.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't got the greatest of schedules, but I think we're going to take full advantage of what's presented there. I'm hoping. I'm confident of wins. I'm just hoping that the margin for the wins is going to be a little bit on the better side for us, not just a few like one field goal wins.
Yeah.
It's a win is a win,
Mm-hmm.
but it would be nice to have a more comfortable wins in the box.
Yeah. Does it excite you, this 2022 season? Like, are you optimistic?
After the last few seasons, I have to be, because it's just the last few seasons. It was painful.
Mm-hmm.
It was. I'm not saying like Browns level painful, but it wasn't. It wasn't all good. You still keep pounding, keep faithful, but it wasn't. What are you hoping from this season?
Just improvements. Like, I'm not expecting miracles. Like, the last 2 seasons were 5 wins. We do have a really tough schedule, which we are going to get onto next. It just depends on, I think, mainly, like I said, were 2 big issues last season: injuries, particularly Christian McCaffrey, the O-line, and of course the quarterback competition. Depending on how they play out, 5 wins could be generous looking at the tough schedule. But if it does play out, then I could quite easily see anywhere between 10 to 7 wins. I think 7, I think the improvement will be Baker Mayfield. If Christian McCaffrey can stay fit, will grant us at least 7 wins. And I think absolute best, if everyone does that job very well, I could say we're finishing 10-7. But that is extremely optimistic.
Looking at, we got 4 or 5 home games to start the season. Is that going to be to our advantage?
It should be. I would like to think that it would be. Get the home crowd behind us. I think typically NFC South games, the home team never typically does too well. It's a little bit of a strange one between NFC South, kind of like rivalry games. And I just don't think last year the home crowd really got behind the team as well as what they should have. I think there was quiet sections in a Bank of America Stadium, which was quite disappointing. But it's understandable. Like, I don't think everybody backs the coach. Nobody really backed the quarterback. Where the face of the franchise guy was injured through the most of it. The O-line was poor. So it's understandable. Like, we've been there, like, as American football and like European football fans, like, we know what it's like as a Newcastle and a Brentford fan, respectively. We've gone through heartache. We know what it can be like. We know what, like, following the team. Sometimes it can get you down when you're in a downward spiral, a bit of a slump. It can get you down. You can lose motivation a little bit, but we can't allow that to happen this year. Like, we shouldn't have done it last year. Well, you can never allow it to happen. It's not really a valid excuse. But yeah, hopefully the home advantage does pay off and the crowd can get behind them and get some more wins on the board.
Starting with the Browns in week 1.
Yeah, so we've got the Browns week 1, 3 preseason games starting this weekend. Thank the Lord there's some football back. But yeah, Browns week 1. No Deshaun Watson as things stand. Unlikely that he will play that game. So are you going for a W week 1?
I am. I was worrying about Baker Mayfield's last season injury.
Yeah.
And I've been doing some research on that to try and find out what is the amount of time to make optimum recovery and be dynamite. Sticking Deshaun Watson being suspension, I give it to us.
Yeah, I would as well. I think I don't know who's going to start week 1. It probably will be Baker. And if he is fit, if he can get through training camp and them 3 preseason games unscathed, he's the number 1 starter. And he's a better quarterback than Jacoby Brissett. I just think there's quite a few other issues with the Browns. Obviously, it's the Browns. Obviously, there's issues. So, yeah, I think with the home advantage, that we can definitely get the W there. Week 2 on the road to New York Giants as well. Got a couple of new draft picks, really, really good draft picks in Thibodeau and Neal. New coaching, completely new everything, really.
But what about the Daniel Jones question?
But other than the quarterback, that's the thing. I think we get the win on the road to the Giants. I think we're a better team. Like I said, if the pieces of the puzzle stick together, as we hope they do, I think we are a better team than the Giants. So I think we can start the season 2-0, similarly to how we did last season, starting 3-0. And then that third game is a home game, first NFC South competitive game against the Saints.
The Aints are always a difficult one. The Aints. I love it. Love it. Aints. It's the divisional rivalry. It's in the blood.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it for us that it's without the Superdome to support them, we're gonna pull a win.
A win, so we're gonna start 3-0?
That's what I'm hoping for. But it's a divisional thing. It's always a tough one. Just when you think it's in the bag, the cardiac cats do something to give you a heart attack. But yeah, I'm going to go win.
And we stay at home in week 4. A very tough game that we did win in Cam Newton's return game last season against the Cardinals. Beat them 34-10 away last year. No Hopkins.
No.
Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins is out, so that could bode well for us.
Well, Kyler Murray does love his DeAndre Hopkins.
He does,
it's established. The question is, by that point in the season, will Murray have developed with someone else to provide a kind of an option for him?
Well, they do have some good options, and it's only 3 weeks prior to that. There's only going to have 3 games to kind of work out that connection. It's 6 games Hopkins is suspended for, isn't it? So he needs to find that connection by week 4, really. Otherwise, they could struggle and hope that them last 12 games or whatever it is that Hopkins is back for, that the push on and try and make the playoffs. So hopefully, week 4, they are still struggling to find that connection. And are you saying that we're going to go 4-0?
it's going to be a tough one, especially against the Cardinal defense.
Yeah.
You're talking a really strong defense. I think we grind out a win.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a high points game, but I think it's going to be a grind it in the ground, slow game. Low points, but yeah. Why not?
And then we've got another home game, 3 home games in a row, which could be very, very good for us. By week 5, we've only played 1 away game, and that is against the 49ers. So we're potentially and likely changing things up at quarterback, going from Jimmy Garoppolo to Trey Lance.
When I was looking at this, the only thing that I could make me smile was that they have a greater injury list than we did.
Yeah.
With Garoppolo, with Trey Lance, well, what was I saw here? Garoppolo, 2021 season, calf injury, only played 1 full game in the 16 game season in his career.
Wow.
So, yeah, I know on touchdown, Mr. Gavin Misery Burton will be rooting for the San Francisco as his beloved team. There's a potential to overcome a team loaded with talent. And like I said, there's a potential. Also, there's a question mark going on around about Deebo Samuel.
Yeah.
Because he did off season for a trade request.
He did. He hasn't signed a new contract, though. He has just committed his future.
Yeah. But if there's that level of disquiet plus the injury, we could pull a nice win out of this, but this one's on the fence.
Yeah,
it all depends on how they work for it.
So that's a potential 5-0 start. I feel like we're going to get the first L on the board in week 6, potentially away, especially SoFi Stadium to the Super Bowl champions, the LA Rams.
Yeah, they are. Last season they were firing on all cylinders.
Yeah,
they other than Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, they weren't the only ones really kicking off and having an amazing time there. All season long, they were strong. I agree with you. It's going to be a rough one.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. And it likely will be in week 7 as well. Home again, though. Another game at home against Tom Brady's Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, and there is the Brady Buccaneers because it's their fortunes have just turned around completely as soon as Brady came to them.
Mm-hmm.
They're a completely different team to what I remember even 3 or 4 seasons ago. You could when you saw the Bucks on the schedule, you're like, okay, easy, good. That's easy.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
And now Brady, Gronk, it's just they just keep
crazy.
on getting the points on the board. Yeah, I don't see us unless Brady decides to retire again.
Hopefully, that'd be nice.
Yeah. Well, would that make his second retirement or his third retirement, or would that be his first retirement? I can't keep track.
Yeah, whatever it is, he'll be. Was he now? He's just celebrating his 45th birthday. Yeah, there's no slowing him down. Week 8, we stay in the NFC South, going away to Atlanta Falcons.
I see it as a win for us because there's just so many question marks of them. You can't,
especially away. Yeah, I do fancy we're getting an away win.
Yeah, the unanswered questions. A new young team with a lot to prove.
Mm-hmm.
By this point, by week 8, we will have seen how they have progressed against other established teams. Don't know. Could be a miracle, but miracles don't always happen. Don't happen often in real life.
Week 10 may be somewhat of a miracle. We are away again to the Super Bowl losers. Very, very good team. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase's Cincinnati Bengals.
They last season were a team that I love to watch. Yeah, their fortunes have just turned around completely to what they were before. And like you said, if I'd said to you 4 years ago, Bengals Super Bowl, they'll be in contention. What? Who?
Hell no.
Yeah. Who day?
That's what I like. I like a little bit of an underdog story, and I really enjoyed the LSU team with Burrow and Chase in. So to see them connect again and in Chase's rookie year. Burrow's
Mm-hmm.
was only second year, wasn't it? Second year in Burrow's second, Chase's first, and to go straight to the Super Bowl with a pretty poor O-line, not a great secondary. It was a one we had Eli Apple. We had for a short spell. They weren't even that good, but they grinded out results and they worked as a team. And that Burrow and Chase connection, T. Higgins as well. They were phenomenal. They were really, really good, and I think they deserve to win that Super Bowl towards the end as well.
I've got it in my notes. Maybe too much firepower and fuel in the tank for us to adequately challenge them. They just, like you said, they just grind it out.
Yeah,
but it's that one would be a difficult one to watch, but I would still enjoy it. Two big cats
absolutely.
going for it.
The Cats and the Birds, week 10. We're back against the Falcons. Just got that Bengals break. We've got the Bengals sandwich in between the Atlanta Falcons. Home tie. Another win at home.
This is a difficult one because it's a very short window. And we have not all short windows have not always benefited us.
Yeah.
It doesn't really leave a lot of time to get back, get stationed away, get yourselves back into the groove.
Yeah, I think away teams might have a advantage in the NFC South, as I said as well. So potential for an L here.
I don't want to say it.
Me either.
I can't say it.
It is another tough one in week 11. We go away to Lamar Jackson's Ravens.
Whoa.
Another tough one.
Another Mr. Touchdown, Mr. Logan, his Ravens. They are just they're another team that just seems to be not always firing on all cylinders, but doing well enough just to carry on, to survive. Maybe not all the wins in the right column, but they are there and they are present. I'm going to go an L for us.
Yeah, I'd probably have to agree with that one. A team that's caused a lot of conversation in pre-season, whether it's worth it or not, I don't know, but it's only because they've now have Russell Wilson. Denver Broncos at home in week 12.
The thing is, you can never write off the Broncos completely. That it's a weird little team. I don't like them. I don't like any team other than the Carolina in the NFL. But
not after the Super Bowl.
No,
I hate Von Miller. I've never liked Von Miller since that day. Can't stand him.
You mean that gold chain yanking? Yeah, him. Yeah. It's a tough one. I'm on the fence on this one. Where would you go with this?
Yeah, similar on the fence. I agree with you. It is a very, very tough one to call. I am leaning, as it's a home game, towards a win. I think that's been so much hype about the Broncos this year, and I don't think it's really worth it. I think they are a good team, and they have improved massively due to that quarterback, who wasn't great last year at the Seahawks. Got some very good individual players, good defense, good offense, but is it great? I don't think so. And in a very, very tough division as well. I think the Chargers have done really, really well. They've got the Raiders are good, and is it the Chiefs in their division as well? It's a tough competitive division, and among them four, are they better than any of them? I don't think that they are.
No, when you listed off those teams, you just can't see the Broncos after Super Bowl. I just haven't really heard much more about them being competitive enough to be challenging in that division.
Yeah, I don't either. But there's so much hype about them saying, "Oh, they're going to go to the playoffs. Like they're so good now. They've got Watson." I'm like, not Watson, Wilson. Like you've got the Chiefs, the Raiders, and the Chargers. How are you getting to the playoffs? But anyway, that's just me. So did we give a score there? Yeah, we're on the fence, so I'm gonna overwrite this one and give it a home win. By week 13, then week 14, we do go to Russell Wilson's former team without a known quarterback at the minute, away in Seattle. I feel like that's going to be a win.
Yeah, even though it's away at Seattle, and Seattle is a very hard stadium to play at,
Mm-hmm.
it's that big question mark. You just don't
Yeah,
know who or what. Could even Kaepernick just suddenly emerge?
maybe Jimmy Garoppolo, maybe.
It's not a far stretch for Garoppolo going
Mm,
up from San Francisco.
yeah.
But how many other named quarterbacks can you think of right now who would be available to slide in there?
Well, that's it. That's why I said Garoppolo, because that's all I can think of.
Yeah, yeah. It's just this. Yeah, I'm going to put it as a win. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna pluck those birds.
Yeah. Tough home game coming up against the Steelers, week 15.
I'm going to have to give the Steelers. And
Steelers.
it's just the Steelers, man. They're
Yeah.
just that division is a really tough group of teams. That said, week 16 with the Lions, I found it really funny with Stafford, how so many losing seasons with the Lions, and then off he goes and bang, Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Do they have anything left in the tank?
I don't know. Yeah.
But it is a Christmas Eve game.
It is,
And
yes, my birthday.
Oh, I'll make sure to send you a nice Carolina.
Thanks.
Strange things do happen on Christmas Eve.
They do. Exactly. I'm the proof.
So my birthday, Halloween. So I
Nice.
understand.
So we've got a loss against the Steelers, and is there a loss against the Lions?
I'm going to give us a Christmas present. We're going to put out a win.
Brilliant.
But,
I hope so.
Yeah, but January 1st, my son's birthday. It's going to be a bad day on January the 1st.
Oh, mine's December 31st, so we've both got we've both got New Year babies. So yeah, hopefully we'll get a nice little present and beat Tom Brady's Bucks on the road.
Yeah, that would be nice. Maybe he forgets his Zimmer frame. Maybe Gronk spikes one ball too many, knocks himself out. Who knows? But again, it's the Bucks, and they're just not a team that can be. It's just very difficult to.
Yeah, so the last two games of the season are both away games to NFC South competition, and we're wrapping it up week 18 with the Saints.
What did we say earlier on with the Saints on
Saints,
week 3?
I think we said a win. We're going to go 5-0 at the beginning of the season. Saints are week 3 at home.
Given our track record and our injury record and our consistency, by that point, if we still have enough players to post an active team, yeah, why not? Let's go for it. We will suffer the injury, the heartache on the 1st of Jan, and then on the 7th, the 8th of Jan, we'll finish the season off with a nice little win.
Brilliant. Well, that gives the record that I put out when I was writing these up yesterday, which I did feel extremely optimistic writing it, but that does leave us with a 10-7 record. Is that possible?
As possible as Brady coming back out of Diamond, but not winning Super Bowl. See, miracles.
Very possible. Yeah, so that's our season preview there then, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much, Antonio. It's been a pleasure talking Carolina Panthers football with you. And that is day 27 of Touchdown House's countdown to first down series for the Carolina Panthers. Thanks very much for watching.
Keep pounding.